We got something special for you. Check this out.
Initiative, enabling the next
I
generation.
wish more people were proactive like you. Most of the time, by the time someone's talking to us, this has already happened 2 or 3 times. So it's an easy lift for us.
Hi, everyone. This is Warren Navarro, the COO of EV Initiative. And today I am here with
David Burson
and Tom Burson.
We're the co-owners of CatStrap, an anti-theft device company.
Can you please tell me more about CatStrap? There's a definite reason why we're having this conversation. We are an EV charging charge port operator. We develop and deploy EV charging hubs, which are DC fast chargers. And these cables are going to be in use by thousands of people. And we want to make sure that they're always online. So we're having a conversation with an anti-theft company. And can you tell us more about this anti-theft component that we're going to be implementing in our properties?
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks. We have a decade plus of experience in developing anti-theft devices for the automotive industry. Traditionally, it was in catalytic converters, and that's still our bread and butter, and where we got started is developing market-leading anti-theft devices for catalytic converters. And over the past year, some of our commercial clients who are historically working with us to protect their gasoline vehicles from catalytic converter theft, they started diversifying into electric fleets. And so it was actually a customer in the Seattle area first half of last year in 2024 who reached out and said, hey, all of our electric chargers that we're using for our fleets are getting vandalized. The cables are getting cut, presumably because these thieves are scrapping the copper in these high voltage cables for the money that the copper is worth, and causing thousands of dollars of damage on each individual charger.
It's a disturbing trend. Thieves targeting high-powered Teslas and other EV charging stations and stealing heavy cable for the copper metal inside.
And so they asked us if we could redesign and redevelop our product for EV charging cable protection applications. And so we've been working on that for the last year, have gone through about 4 different product iterations up to this point in time. And just over the past couple of weeks, we started shipping the first commercial orders for the EV Cable Shield anti-theft device, which is essentially an armored sleeve that wraps around the cable, secured with stainless steel fasteners, and just makes it extremely difficult to cut through. So these guys who are normally coming with very conventional tools, sometimes it could just be a pocket knife that a thief is using to cut through, the soft rubber, and copper is actually a soft metal, relatively speaking. So it's pretty easy to cut. But whether they're using a pocket knife or something more advanced like a Sawzall reciprocating saw or big heavy-duty bolt cutters, they're not going to be able to get through our anti-theft device.
So is it very thick and very heavy? Is it like an armored sleeve that goes around?
Yeah.
Can you describe what this thing would look like?
Those are really important criteria. So when we were developing this, we knew we had to make it lightweight and flexible so that the end user isn't messing with this cumbersome cable just so that it's protected. So we're using very lightweight and thin metals, but they are ultra hardened. And so we've been kind of leveraging our decade of experience in innovating products for cutting barriers for catalytic converters, and part of that is a specialized ultra hardened steel that we're using, and so basically there's 8 metal strips that wrap around the entire circumference of the cable and run the entire length of the cable. Over a 20-foot length, it's a little less than 5 pounds total. So, very, very lightweight, something that anyone will be able to, still be able to use the cables without, maybe without even knowing, what's underneath this, the sleeving there. But it adds maybe a centimeter total to the diameter of the cable. So a little bit thicker, but not much, not to the point that it becomes cumbersome.
So it's the same old cable basically. So when mom comes to plug, I always think about my mom or my aunt, just some,
For sure.
Right? I'm thinking about regular people. We're gonna pull off and pull into this hub. You're gonna pick up this cable, and it's just gonna feel like just like any other charging cable, basically. And they don't even know. Would they know that? Like, is it marked? Is it yellow or orange? Like, I'd like to have it black, like a regular cable.
Yeah, that's what. By default, it's a black sleeve that covers the cable, so it'll just blend in. The only way they would know, we do ship a yellow warning placard with each unit, and so the installer can decide for themselves, do we want to advertise that this is a protected and armored cable, or not. Most people want to, because it's just a small kind of 2x3 inch metal, sign up at the head of the cable, where you're probably not even looking at it unless you're a thief trying to cut up there. But that's optional. But it is quite effective. Anything you can do to just deter, thieves from even trying to cut, is a step in the right direction.
Okay, and let's say somebody actually did come and they were determined, and our neighbors at our property are the Los Angeles Police Department, but let's say they were just preoccupied with something else, and this guy was just sawing away and he actually cut through. Is it like, how possible is it for someone to actually cut through this ultra hardened metal? And then if they do, what would happen next? Because we are planning to use this pressurized. Tell me a little bit more. What happened?
Yeah. It's important to be realistic, and using the word impossible to cut is certainly not accurate. Nothing is impossible with enough time and effort. But what we've learned is over the last 10 plus years, there is a point where an opportunistic minded thief says, this is way too much work than what's worth the 20 or 30 bucks of copper in the cable. And so our job is to identify how hard do we have to make it, balancing the amount of materials and metals and everything that we put in this. How difficult do we need to make it where that point is reached, and then some, right? So if someone wants to spend all night getting one cable, it could happen. It's just, but we're not going to see that, because it just doesn't, they would go get a job at that point, right? To spend all night for, one cable. It's a ton of work. And on top of that, we do have, as you alluded to, an extra layer of deterrence, which is an add-on feature called the DyeDefender. And it's a pressurized blue dye in a stainless steel braided line that runs the length of the cable. It's also hidden underneath the sheath. But if someone does come with a sharp cutting blade and they focus on trying to cut through that material, after about 5 or 10 seconds of trying to cut, they're going to puncture this braided fuel line hose, and a blue dye will spray out from that. So it's pretty startling to see that happen. You wouldn't necessarily know what it is, the liquid that's coming out, but it creates a mess. They're going to turn blue, which is a bit comical, and maybe even helps if it does identify them exactly. So yeah, that's the DyeDefender add-on.
How hard is it to clean that dye after? Like, let's say it's someone that did happen. How difficult would that be to clean up?
Yeah, I mean, it does stain the skin, but it's all food grade ingredients. It's essentially like a water, glycerin, blue food coloring solution that we're injecting it with, and so it's water soluble. So I mean, it can wash off any solid surface. If it's concrete, maybe power wash. But the skin, it'll leave your hands blue for a few days for sure.
Really cool, interesting. And that add-on, does it add a lot of weight, and does it make it more heavy to manage the cable, or is it like
it's a pretty thin line? So it only adds a pound total. So if if you're thinking over a 20-foot length, about 5 pounds for the armored sleeve, 6 pounds if it has the that
to it.
Yeah.
So so it's just like a little bit more of a thicker cable, and it's like a bigger cable, and then they just plug it in, and it will have cable management, which makes it easy for them, regardless of which. Very interesting. How easy is it to install this on existing infrastructure? We're doing this from the ground up, so the plan is to ship you the cables potentially, or what would you guys go to the manufacturer? Like, how does this logistically work?
Yeah. Well, the earlier you do it, the easier. In probably similar to most things. We've designed it primarily for a retrofit design because there's already tens or hundreds of thousands of chargers that exist in the world that are already having this theft issue, and so we've made sure that the product is available for folks where it's already deployed out in the field. Yeah, we are working with folks on having them ship their cables directly to us. We just slide the armored sleeve over it, basically ship it back out on a pallet to the technician who's going to add it onto the charging equipment. So that part's pretty streamlined. There's a bunch of stainless steel zip ties that you use to secure it tightly around the cable, and then that black sleeving that encompasses everything and gives it a finished look.
Yeah, no special tools required, pretty straightforward. No electrical expertise required either.
Yeah, we're not interfacing with any of the electrical wiring or anything like that. So it's basically from where the cable enters the machine down to the handle. We seal it up and clamp it down tight along that length, but we're not entering into the machine.
Perfect. What other charge port operator have you worked with in the past? You mentioned Blink. I see pictures with Tesla. Is there any more?
We've had talks with most of the major operators. Some of the first folks to deploy it have been city governments, which use commonly available charging manufacturers like ChargePoint. We're doing a pilot with 7-Eleven that uses, I think, level 3 ChargePoint hardware, EVgo, Flow, Blink. It's been installed kind of on all of those, so a pretty wide variety.
It's because EV charge, DC fast charging is an investment, and we, especially as charge port operators, EV Initiative, we plan to protect those investments, and that's why we do things in a proactive way. It's proper planning prevents poor performance. Am I right? Right.
Absolutely. We wish more people were proactive like you. Most of the time, by the time someone's talking to us, this has already happened 2 or 3 times. So it's an easy lift for us. But I mean, especially location-based proactivity, I think saves a lot of pain in the future.
Well, we're happy to partner with you guys. Happy to promote your business. Happy to promote and get some of our charge port operators that are using our technology to grow their networks. We'll encourage them to work with you in the future. We're planning to work with you guys for Mission Hills, Nordoff, and the other locations we have coming up. And really, really appreciate your time, both of you guys. And if there's anything else you want to say before we leave, just let me know.
I mean, I think you covered it. We're trying to play a small part in keeping EV chargers online and available when people need them. And so, to the extent possible, our solution helps with that. We're really excited about this.
Well, perfect. Thank you so much. It's Warren from EV Initiative. Until the next time, guys.
EV
Awesome.
Initiative, enabling the next generation.